Welcome back to the pregame show. Glad you can join us. It's time for some football. Are you ready for some football? I am. Hope you are. And this guy right here definitely is. Head coach Todd McDaniel of the Vicksburg High Gators here in the Red Carpet Bowl as Vicksburg in action here, taking on Germantown. First game on the docket at Warren Central. Glad you can join us for some Friday night football. We got some Thursday night games as well as we get into the season. But Germantown rolling in here for the red carpet. Coach, how you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Man, it's I can't believe it. It's time for some football. Time flies. Once you get into June and July,
it's here.
Yeah, it is here. And they say time flies when
Absolutely.
you're having fun, and everyone likes to have fun with football.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just can't wait to get on the field tonight. You know, we've been hitting each other for so long. You know, it's just time to see a different color.
I hear that every time when you get into the first game. Like just. You know, when do in high school, when do teams kind of hit the wall? Like they say, your players say, Coach, I'm just tired of hitting each other. I'm ready for an opponent. How long has that conversation been going?
Well, actually, we hit the wall a long time ago because we didn't get an opportunity to finish a spring game. We got about 9 plays into it and had to stop. So we hadn't played a full game really since West Point. You know, so that's 10 months ago. You know, so it's time to get out there and get it against someone else.
When, for you, and we've talked about this a little bit, but for you, the process of getting ready for the next season when the previous season is over, so the West Point game, that was behind you, when did you kind of get back at it and kind of get the physicality back going again? I know you give them a little downtime, but then you got to get right back up.
Well, we got back in the weight room that Monday after we left West Point.
3 days.
3 days, you know. So we worked out the entire month of November and December and got back in January and really got back at it.
So other than the Christmas breaks and the breaks that you usually get, they're really, is it really safe to say that even in high school football there really is no downtime?
There's no downtime. 2 weeks is about all you're gonna get, you know. So, but if you want to be the best and you want to compete with the best within the state and the surrounding states, there's no downtime. No one's taking off, you know. You just have to continue to work and continue to grind, you know. So, but for us just relaxing, there's no time for that.
I know you're not the kind of guy that seems to relax, because as good as it was last year, you lost to West Point. I know that kind of left a sour taste in your mouth and just getting ready for this season.
Well, you know, we wanted to make the playoffs and we made a decent playoff run, but that's not where we want to be. We want to hoist that gold ball at the end of the year. And if you're going to rest and relax, you're definitely not going to get opportunity to do that, you know. So that's one of our focuses. That's one of our goals, you know. So, well, we want to start with the first game first and bring that red carpet bowl trophy home Friday night, you know, tonight. So just can't wait to get out there on that field. You know, we have other goals in place, and that's one of them. And to have a great season, win the district, and go as far as we can in the playoffs as possibly as far as we can. You know, so we want to host the North State, and we want to go to state. You know, that's just the goal. Any coach would tell you that. If they tell you something else, they're lying.
So you talk about the process. So we actually did a couple of processes last year in getting to the postseason and making a fairly decent run. So as you look at the next step in the process, it's a step-by-step deal. Mm-hmm. What is the key to getting to that next step as you look at the off season and the conditioning and everything, mm-hmm. the next step in that process?
Well, continue for us to continue to grow as individuals and grow as a team, to get a little bit more mature, add a few wrinkles here or there, you know, stay in the weight room, continue to practice hard, execute, and always in the back of your mind, you know that's the goal, but it's going to be steps to get there, you know. So we just got to continue to be a family, love one another, and do the right things when we think no one is looking, because somebody's always watching.
We're talking with Gator High coach Todd McDaniel here as we get ready for the Red Carpet Bowl. You know, you talk about the process, and you started a quarterback in Ronnie Alexander. He was, 14, 15 years old when he first took his first snaps. You talk about maturity. Talk about his maturity level, because where he goes is where this team goes. And handing him the keys as a freshman running this wing tee, how far has he come in his growth and development as a young man, as a quarterback running this system?
Well, Ronnie is probably one of the better young men that I've ever had opportunity to coach. You know, he's a really good kid. He's been really raised properly. You know, Ronnie tries to do everything the right way, and when he makes a mistake, he's down on himself. You know, and that's what winners do. You know, they go back and correct their mistakes themselves, and then they come and ask for advice. You know, and Ronnie's that type of kid that he does that. You know, and you can turn on the film from 3 years ago until today. You know, right now, you know, he's a totally different kid. You know, his body has filled out. He's more mature. He has more accuracy on the ball, and most of all, he has more confidence in himself. You know, and he knows that he can get this job done. He played at a high level last year. We expect him to play at a higher level this year.
In terms of him throwing the football down the field, I know you and I have talked about this the last couple of years in terms of wanting to push the ball down the field more. You think he's ready to take that next step? Because we all know running the wing T, it's 90+% run, but then sometimes that crowds the box and you got a lot of one-on-ones and getting the ball down the field. Even in the Jamboree last week, some opportunities there to push the ball.
Right. You know, also, you know, Ronnie led the county in passing yards last year, you know, and we have so-called passing teams within this county, you know. So, you know, he threw for 1,200 yards, maybe 10, 11 touchdowns, but we're looking for 1,800 to 2,000 yards this year, maybe 15 to 20 touchdowns this year. That's what we're looking for, and this just about being mature and being able to go out there and do that. I'm not going to ask him to do something that he cannot do, and as you can see, when he was in the 9th grade, you know, we had the training wheels on him. You know, now we're going to take him off of him and let him play football. You know, he's really good at not turning the ball over and not making mistakes. You know, he's an intelligent young man, you know, so I just can't wait to see him get out there on the field tonight and actually target some passes. The Kadarius and Tata and those guys can stretch the field, you know, but we're going to take what they're giving us. We're not going to force it, you know, so we're going to let it come in, flow of the game.
With this wing T, of course, you want to run the football. You told me last week 5,000 yards?
That's what we want.
5,000, so that's 500 yards a game, almost, somewhere in there, if my math is correct, and most of the time it's not. But at 5,000 yards running the football.
That is the goal. You know, I've had 3 or 4 teams to make it to 4,800 yards, but that was the goal then, 5,000 yards, you know, and it's very obtainable, you know, but it's going to take some great blocking up front, some hard running, some big plays, you know, so it can definitely happen. Previously, years ago, I've had some offenses that was in top 5 in the nation in rushing, you know, so that won't be anything new to me, you know, so, but that's the goal. We want at least 3,000 yard backs, you know, so, and possibly some 1,800, maybe even 2,000 yard backs, you know, so. But there's going to have to be things that's working and clicking on all cylinders, you know, and I think we're headed in that direction, but that definitely is the goal. We want 5,000 yards.
And you got a stable of backs to do that. Smith and Montgomery, just talk about this stable of backs that you have.
Well, you know, these backs, you know, we have some that's really good at one thing and some that's really good in others, you know. You take Malik Montgomery and Cedric Blackmore, they're some power backs, but they can actually, when they break a run, they can actually stick it, you know. We also have Colin, DeCorey Knight, Johnny Smith, great athletes, you know. So those guys, when they get in an open field, they can make things happen, you know. So we want to make sure that we put them in the right position to be successful, and this is a very talented group of backs, you know. So along with the receivers also. So you know, we have opportunity to be able to stretch the field and be able to run the ball at will, you know. So it's been very few teams that have been able to stop us on a consistent basis running the football. But we want to continue to get better at it. We want to be able to add little wrinkles here or there to keep people off balance and also keep 8, 9 people out the box.
And to make that happen, it starts up front. And you were saying last year, one of the requirements for your linemen, they got to be power lifters.
Right.
And so how's that transition been, knowing the requirements? In order for you to be the BMOCs up front, you got to be on the powerlifting team. How did that go across?
Well, they love it. They love being in the weight room. They understand that that's what it's going to take to win. And in order to move people around, you have to be physically strong to do that, you know. And our guys, we're not very big up front. Our offensive line, we have 2 10th graders. One is about 265, one about 275. But my left tackle is about 240 pounds. Left guard about 190 pounds. Center about 220. But we are extremely strong and quick. So that's one of the things that's one of our attributes that we believe in, that we're going to beat them to the punch. And we've been in the weight room for 2 years now, so it's time to see everything come to fruition that we've been asking for, So we have a true wing T offensive line. Our guards are very quick and very fast. Our tackles get off the ball extremely well. But don't be surprised you see us spread it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So but like I said, the game plan is going to change each and every week. We're gonna attack opposing defenses' weaknesses every week. So it might be double tight, double wing one week. It might be shotgun one wing one week. So it's just according to what they're giving us on film and find out where their weaknesses are on defense.
Kickoff coming up here in a matter of moments here in the Red Carpet Bowl, the history of it, the tradition, the pageantry of it. So let's look at the defensive side of the ball. For all the talk of the offense and hopefully 5,000 yards rushing, right. Coach Lacey's defense, quietly as Coach Lacey is, he's active on social media. He wants to pump his guys up. Right. But defensively, Coach, how does your team looking going into this season?
Well, we want to be better than we were last year. We had about 4 or 5 shutouts last year. And I told him that as an old former defensive coordinator, he has beat my record of 9. So we want 10 or 11 if it's possible, And that's hard to do, But our guys up front, it starts with our defensive line: Caleb Bryant, DeMarcus Johnson, Kellen Washington, and Tyler Carter. Those are some very big, physical, athletic kids, and they play extremely hard. We have a newcomer in the linebacker slot, Mike linebacker Dennis Battle. He's about 6'3", about 225-pound 10th grader, and you can see him on film flying all over the field, and he's going to show up there with Waleed Carey, So we have in our secondary we have J.D. Kelly. I'm sorry, we have KDs and JDs, So he's going to all corner, big physical corner, about 6'2", about 185 pounds. We have Kearis Gilliam is about 6'1", 6'2", about the same. Then we have the big guy in the middle of Jaleel Fleming, about 6'4", and he's a true free safety. If I see the shoulders of the quarterback go up in a 45-degree angle, I have an idea that it's a 50-50 chance that we might come down with that football, so because he's a ball hog. So our defense is really stout. We just got to continue to play and hone in on focus on the things that's necessary for us to be successful. Running to the football, taking the football away, stripping it at every given opportunity, and giving the offense back the football, going 3 and out. And the way our offense and defense plays is like peanut butter and jelly. We don't want our defense on the field long. Our offense is our defense, So it just goes in circles, But those guys are extremely aggressive, and I just can't wait to see them fly around tonight. We got a little taste of it last week. They pretty much dominated the football game, but now it's time to dominate Germantown.
Yeah, I was looking at the back end of that defense. Up front, it's stout in the middle. Natchez had, there were some drops there on that back end of that defense. That receivers dropped some balls. There were some plays there. Did that concern you at all a little bit?
It really didn't concern me. It's just that we kind of one of our D-backs kind of lost the sight of their technique and very correctable. Gilliam has been a really good football player for us over the past 2 years. So it kind of opened his eyes. Listen to coach. Do what coach actually do. Now, on the other hand, that receiver is going to be a big-time football player. So it wasn't like that he was going against someone that really couldn't play. They had two dynamic receivers that can really, really stretch the field. And fortunately, he just had the drops on that play.
Yeah.
So our guy, and then our free safety took a bad angle. But hey, that's what jamborees are for. Be able to get back in the mode of playing football.
Special teams. Last year that was kind of, back and forth there and going for 2 quite often. But you were saying last week you've got quite a few snappers, holders, and kickers at your disposal.
Right. So, we've been working on it all summer, and every team has a weakness, but you want to try to make your weaknesses as strong as possible so they won't be glaring. glaring weaknesses. So we've been working with Cedric Blackmore, Ronnie Alexander, a few more other guys as far as snapping and holding and kicking, things of that nature. So as you can see, he's hitting it right down the middle. So hopefully we can continue that tonight.
Who will be our starting kicker and punter?
Cedric Blackmore will be the starting kicker. Johnny Smith will be the starting punter.
Starting punter, okay. And punt and kickoff returns. I mean, when you have the playmakers that you have, that's probably an easy decision on punt and kickoff returns.
Well, you know what? It's really not an easy decision, and because we have about 3-4 guys that's capable of doing it. Okay. So we want to try to put the best back there. But last year we had Tyler Henderson. He did a great job of returning. Now we have Johnny Smith in return. We have Corey Knight in return. We have Mickey Dick in return, a great defensive player, one of probably the best cover man-to-man corner in the state of Mississippi, and I'll put my name on that. But he can return, so we have good problems back there, So those guys can all return. Even Colin can return. Sometimes he has his hands are a little hard, but but he can definitely return. So we've been working, like I said, we've been working on these things all summer, and it's just time for us to see it on the field and time to reap some rewards from that.
Well, let's hope we can get that tonight. As you look at Germantown, a team that was 5-7 last year, 2-5 in district. We were talking last week about it. They lost quite a bit, but still dangerous. How are they dangerous?
Well, their defensive line is very active, very, very quick. They're not very big up front, but they are aggressive. They fly to the football, so hopefully we can use some of that aggressiveness against them. Offensively, they have a new head coach from Oak Grove. He's going to spread it out here and there, but he really wants to run the football. So we're going to do our best to take the run away and force them to throw the football. They have a decent quarterback, but he can deliver the ball. But you go back and you assess everything. Is that I prefer him running. So we're going to line up and we're going to take their best things away. Best plays away, best formations away, and we're going to let the chips fall where they may. So we have a very athletic secondary. So we don't mind locking up and matching up on the back end, and sending a little heat off the edge or having one more in the box than they can block.
This red carpet bowl has been really great, really special for this area, for this community. Your experiences with the red carpet bowl, just how big it is, talking with the supporters, people that are behind the scenes to make this go. Just give us your thoughts on the red carpet. Every year, one year this year it's at Warren Central, next year comes back to Vicksburg High, just back and forth. Warren Central will be playing later. Just talk about this game, this event.
Well, it's a big event for the community, and it does a lot of great things as far as scholarships and things of that nature for the kids. So anytime that you're doing something for the kids, I'm on board with it 100%. So this is a big event that they look forward to every single year. It's only one event that's bigger than this event every year, and that's us versus Warren Central. So but everyone in the county pretty much comes out and enjoys the festivities. So I just can't wait to see all the people in the stands tonight, and also my first year here we were in COVID. The stadium was almost empty. So it's going to be totally different. So we want to go out and put a show on for our community. We want to stand up for Vicksburg.
Speaking of COVID, you brought up a good point. We've come a long way since then. I mean, I think this time last year, games are going to be forfeited if the team has COVID, all that. What are some of the protocols this go around as we're still dealing with it? It's still out here. There's other stuff to deal with. What are some of the protocols in place for 2022?
Well, we're just going to follow what the CDC says, and basically they have lifted a lot of different protocols and a lot of different standards that they had in place once before. So at one time, everyone had to have their own personal water bottle, So it's still there, but it's not as bad as it was 2 or 3 years ago. Thank God, So, but we still try to be safe. We continue to wipe everything down. We also defog the field house, So we try to be safe. Guys, you can wear your mask on the buses when we start traveling or whatever the case may be. But it's as close as the normal as you can possibly get.
You're right. Well, we were here 2 years ago. They were limiting the number of fans here at Viking Stadium.
Right.
Now you don't have to worry about that.
Right. So the entire community will be out, and hopefully we can go out there and give them the show that they're expecting.
How big is it to get off to a good start here? Everybody's ready for some football.
Right.
How important is it to start this thing off 1-0?
Football is about momentum. If you can carry all the hard work that we have done and put in, and all the different things we put in place to get to this point, and be able to carry that momentum into the game tonight and carry it into next week, it can be really big for us.
As they say, win the week, right?
Win the week.
Coach, we appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
That's Vicksburg High Coach Todd McDaniel here. The Red Carpet Bowl, the history, the tradition, the pageantry, the excitement, the energy, all that and more. Kickoff is coming up after this. Time out.
Go Gators.